Dvorak trying to come in alone. Shoot! Score! Yanni Gourde, baby! He wins it for the Lightning! 5-4 in overtime!
Taylor the shot, redirected, score! Game 7, Montez St. Louis! We are going back to Tampa Bay! Lecavalier spinning. Lecavalier looking, trying to drop it off, brings it in himself, left it in the middle, shot, score!
Welcome to Thunderstruck. This is your host, Philip Wunderlich, and your co-host, Jake Richter. Jake, we have a few things to talk about. Not much has happened since the last podcast, but Nikita Kucherov, of course, one of our favorite players, got re-signed to a long extension, so he's going to be a Bolt for a long period of time, and he's making more money than Steven Stamkos. What do you think about this?
Yeah, very, very excited to have him back on the team for 8 more years. It's going to be really exciting. We know he's a fan favorite of this whole area. So, and yes, he is paid more than Steven Stamkos, and honestly, I'm perfectly okay with this. I again love this contract extension. He's getting paid $9.5 million, which is the highest on the team, like we mentioned. But for his talent and what we've seen out of him in the couple of years he's played for us, he deserves every bit of that money. We've seen him continuously grow. Every year he's had an increase in points and goals. He's gotten better and better each year. So it's, who knows how he's gonna play next year. I think this is huge and this is great. He could be a future captain if you ask me.
I agree. And the thing is too, is that he could have been easily nominated for the Hart Trophy. He was just had a few points under McDavid. So, this is something that is crazy to be on our team, especially since he was a second-round pick at 58th overall. Who would have thought that?
I know, it's crazy. And when you look at even the guys who are paid more than him, only 2 of them have more goals than Kucherov, which is Alex Ovechkin and Connor McDavid. And only one of them's got more points, which is McDavid. So, he's one of the top players in the entire NHL, and he's paid less than a lot of these guys, which is huge for us. It's really exciting to see his growth, and I can't wait for the next upcoming season to see what he does.
He's really an offensive superstar. Like I said, he came basically from nowhere, and we talked about this before, how great our scouts are, and we pick people for, like they say, diamond in the rough.
100%.
It's really crazy how great our scouting department is, and finding these diamonds like Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, like we said before, it's incredible.
It is unbelievable, and like you said, what makes Kucherov so good is his offensive ability. He's got such a great shot. He can snap his wrist at the blink of an eye and have that puck in the back, and then he can hit those top corner shelves when he needs to. And something about him that we've started to see more now, especially now that he's signed this long extension, is he's really starting to become a leader, which is so huge, especially like we've said, a guy who we drafted out of the second round. As soon as he signed that 8-year extension, he was already back on the ice practicing, getting ready. At the end of every game, before pregame warmups, at the end of it, he goes to the corner, gets a teammate to pass him some pucks, and starts shooting him to hit that top shelf, so he's ready to go. He's growing so much, and he's just such a generational talent, which is why this is so exciting.
Exactly. And like you said, 8 more years is a long-term deal, and who knows what kind of ceiling he will have for goals and points, stuff like that. And like you said, only a couple players had more goals than he did, and only Connor McDavid had more points.
Absolutely. I think we can definitely safely say that there is a Rocket Richard Trophy in Kucherov's near future.
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe it'll be called the Nikita Kucherov Trophy.
Wouldn't that be fun? That would be really cool.
But no, the series on a serious note, I'm really happy for him. And another player got signed too, Adam Ernie. You know, he's a good
Yes.
fourth-line guy. We all love Adam Ernie. And when he was playing with Syracuse in the beginning of the season, he was really good offensively, and I can't wait to see what he's going to be on a full-time basis since he signed a one-way deal.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be again. He's a great depth player, and I think that's what his role is, and he fits it very nicely. We didn't see much of him. We saw him a couple of times last season, but yeah, he should have a higher role, I think, on the team this year because we lost guys like Kunitz. So he's definitely one of the top guys that could come up and replace, a guy like that, especially with Callahan also being out for a little while at the beginning of this season. Again, another guy that could come right up and replace some of these guys. So we'll definitely see more of Ernie. He's perfect for that depth role. He can score, but I really like his grit that he has. And I think, like we've said before, this is something that team needs. So great signing, great depth player.
Yeah. And we don't really know the fate of Callahan. There's been rumors for a while now that Callahan might go back to the Rangers. So we don't know what's going to happen there either. So, but that, like Adam Ernie is going to be a perfect player to fit in those roles. And he's young, he's not an aged veteran. Sometimes you need those aged veterans, but I'm really happy with the signing. Not a lot of cap. He's signing for the third or fourth line.
Absolutely, it's really cheap. It's it's not like we're breaking the bank here by any means, and he's not a terrible player, so, as we mentioned before. So it'll be exciting to see how he grows, like all these other players have so much.
Exactly. And another thing that happened, we got a new coach. We hired Derek Lalonde, I believe his name is, as an assistant coach. He spent the last 2 years coaching the Iowa Wild, and they had some success in the AHL. And now he's the assistant coach of the Lightning. What do you think about this?
I'm really excited about these new assistant coaches. These guys have had a past with John Cooper. Believe it or not, a lot of them actually hang out with Cooper, a group of them, and they go golfing all the time. So these guys have a history, and I think that's something that's really important to have on a team, to have that connection, because, I don't think people realize how important chemistry is on a team, even with the coaches. Coaches are a huge part of the team. If you don't have good coaches, you have a bad locker room, and things just don't ever get off to a good start, and teams are not as motivated when you don't have a good coach. So I really like this. He's had a great resume. I'm pretty sure he's had a winning record almost everywhere he's gone. Looking at his resume, it looks great. So I think he can be definitely a very big coach in the future and will be great on John Cooper's staff for the first couple of years. What about you, though? What do you think?
I agree with you. I mean, having the chemistry in the locker room, not just with the players, but the coaches as well. You don't want to have a toxic environment in either side. So, having him having that experience with Cooper and the talent that Cooper has, I'm really excited to see him on the bench with Cooper and the other coach that we just hired. Sorry, I can't think of his name right now.
Jeff Halpern, I believe is how you say it.
Jeff Halpern. And he spent the time in Syracuse, so we already know how he works out and stuff like that. So
right, which is huge.
I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, like you said, to mention, it's huge that that Jeff has spent some time in Syracuse because he knows these players already. He knows how to work with them, the best way to work with them. Because that's something that happens a lot when a new coach comes onto a team. They got to learn their players. It's a different environment. Every team is different. Every player is different. So it's very nice, when you can have guys come up from your feeder team, even coaches that already know how to work with these guys. They know the best ways to push them, the best ways to help them learn. So I think it's going to be very exciting. I'm really looking forward to see how this team is going to grow next year. That window of opportunity is still here, and it's looking bright. So it'll be exciting to see how these guys work out.
Yeah, I agree with you. And not only that, it's going to be interesting how their coaching talent comes to the NHL, I mean, they've been coaching for the AHL, and it's a little different league. Just it's kind of like having a coach in football, being the coach of a college team, and then going to the NHL. It's different, but it's going to be interesting to see how their talent comes over to the NHL, and having that experience with Cooper, I think it's going to really help out.
Absolutely, it's definitely a big jump. Things are definitely going to be different. It might take them a couple, months to get used to everything, but I think with due time, we can be looking at a bright future for sure.
Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about is a third jersey. There's been a few teams that have announced their jersey recently.
Yes.
The Ducks, one of my favorite teams as well, just announced their jersey, and it looks beautiful. I gotta say. But the Flyers announced theirs. It's going to be black with some orange, and Carolina announced theirs at the draft, and so did Arizona with the Kachina jersey. It's going to be interesting to see what our jersey looks like. I mean, do you think it's going to be retro? Do you think it's going to be something brand new? What do you think?
Personally, I think we're going to go with the retro. We've seen that theme throughout the other NHL, as you just mentioned. And I think it's a really cool idea too. It's something Adidas is doing differently. And a lot of people love old retro jerseys. A lot of people collect jerseys for that specific reason. So it could be a fun new way. And that's what alternates are supposed to be. They're supposed to be these jerseys that you wear every once in a while. They're a little fun that spice it up a little bit. So I think that they definitely go the retro route. But let's talk about which ones we think are our favorites. What about you, Phil? What jersey would you like to see specifically?
I would like to see either the Storm jersey, come back, or heck, even the palm trees actually make it come to the NHL. I mean, it was a spoof, and but at the same time, I think it would be kind of cool. Like you said, it's different. I mean, you don't want to wear the same jersey to every game. You don't want to do that kind of stuff. So I mean, having something different like a palm tree or the thunderstorm, I think it would be awesome. What do you think?
Yeah, those are definitely really cool. I know the Storm jerseys are, one of fan favorite, even though they are totally ugly, but they are hilarious and they're very fun. Those are some of my personal favorite alternates Lightning I've ever had. They're crazy. They're fun. They're definitely a good choice. The Lightning go with them. Personally, though, my favorite I've seen a couple of people make some renderings of them, are the basically the original jerseys that we had with the first logo. But instead of the original logo, we have the new updated logo. So those are personally my favorite. I think they look fantastic. It's a really clean look, which is a lot what the Lightning have gone with nowadays, is that clean, newer look. And I think this fits the retro and clean look perfectly. You get the best of both worlds. You get the retro look with the old jerseys, which everybody loves, and you get the new clean look with all the new colors and the new logo. So those are my personal favorite, and I'm rooting for them. I will absolutely be buying one of those if that's the route they go down. But I don't think there's much that they can't do wrong here. There's a lot of roads they could go down. A lot of them would be really cool and fun.
Yeah. Shout out to Kev. He's had some renderings as well of the jersey throughout the season, and he's had some great jerseys put out. And I think you might be right too. I think it might be throwing it back to maybe our first logo and having the colors that we have now, having the black and the blue. I think it would look nice as well.
Absolutely, these look fantastic. I think they would also go over very well with a lot of the fans. I know we briefly mentioned on our Twitter, what some of our fans thought, and I know a lot of people were saying that they like the Storm jerseys too, and they would love these old retro looks. I know the ones when I was looking at the Lightning Twitter page too, the most popular ones that I saw being thrown around were these retro ones with the new updated logo and the Storm jerseys. I think those are the most popular, and then the palm tree was thrown in there, of course, because why not? Who doesn't love palm trees?
Especially in Florida,
Absolutely.
You got it everywhere. But
now, if we get the palm trees as our third jersey, does that mean we got to get Radko Gudas back? I mean, he's got to be on the team, right?
I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works.
But he loves the palm tree jerseys.
Well, you know, living in California too, I think the palm trees would look nice. I mean, we got palm trees out here too, so I'd sport it around.
Absolutely,
Just for the
absolutely.
heck of it too, so you know.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. You know, I'm actually surprised they haven't said much on this yet. You know, I don't think it'll be too much longer though till we start getting some sneak peeks of it. I think the last time we got our new alternates, they announced it at FanFest, I believe, which is just around the corner. So hopefully we'll be seeing something real soon about it. Speaking of new designs, though, did you see the new look the Lightning Twitter page has gone with?
Yes, and in fact, our Twitter page is kind of mimicking it. Kev made some headers for us as well, and
yes, they look
I really like
fantastic.
it has the you know it has a white and the blue, and it's very simplistic, but it looks very nice. Like, you know, that could correlate to the jerseys even, going back to that. You know, having this simplistic look. Maybe you're not going to have so flashy. Maybe you're going to have something simplistic. What do you think about the new Little Lightning stuff?
Yeah, I know. I agree. I love it. I think it looks really great. Like you said, it's clean and simple. You know, that's what a lot of new modern things are today. And yeah, I think it definitely could be a little hint at what our third jerseys could look like. Which is again why I think the retro jerseys that we talked about fit so well with that. But I think it's definitely, I think it's a lot better than what they had last year. You know, personally, kind of to me, it looked like, you know, when they sent out those gifs of one player scored. Personally, to me, it looked like a little bit of a carnival. But so I really like this new look. It's clean, simple look. It works for everybody. And yeah, Kev, I mean, what an amazing job he does. One of my favorites he recently made is the Louis Domingue header that he tweeted out. That one looked really cool. I think the picture fit really well with that.
Exactly. Unfortunately for this show, we didn't have any questions. But don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We know we have some discussion here and there about Lightning stuff regarding jerseys and what have you. So don't forget to follow us there as well, and like us on Instagram and like us on Facebook. And we're going to have the podcast out shortly on our YouTube page, so don't forget to like us there as well.